What kinds of social media websites or apps do you use?
Snapchat, Instagram.
YouTube, Facebook, Twitter.
Yeah, same as generally Snapchat.
Instagram, Snapchat, SoundCloud. Does that count? SoundCloud?
Facebook. Same as and BBM. Oh yeah.
Near enough all of them.
If our batteries died, then we're not on it. If our batteries are alive, then we're on it. Basically.
It's just a great way for me to share things I've made, like YouTube and SoundCloud. I get to share my bits and pieces.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's a way to talk to people as well, so you don't feel like you're by yourself all the time.
Because I can keep in contact with friends that I don't get to see very often. Ones that all live all over the country. I can contact family that I don't get to see very often.
I try to get my life to Snapchat. It'll work. She was like, what's this? I just wanted her to have it so it was just fun.
Well, it can be, but then again, there should be precautions taken by the adult to watch what the child is doing.
Because you get people who pretend to be younger, and then the younger people don't really realise because they just think, like, for example, like when you're lower and you're like year 7, you wouldn't really realise because you wouldn't think of it. You'd just be like, oh yeah, like.
A child has stumbled upon a certain website they shouldn't have. Like if they're on Ask FM getting up to naughty tricks, I think someone's got to just take the child in hand.
These grown men acting to be little, like, good-looking boys for a younger other girl, and these girls are thinking, oh, this boy's talking to me, this and that, well, really and truly, like, he's a catfish.
With certain children's television shows, people like to parody them. So then they come across, so they've cut them up so they become a bit more rude, a bit more funny for the older audience, which is something else parents have got to look out for. They've got to sort of read the descriptions of things and see, right, this is suitable, keep on with this guy or whatever, and it's just the parents really, because children can't really be accountable for what they're doing.
People have got rude to me on Snapchat, Facebook and Instagram.
I used to have big YouTube arguments with people about stuff which wasn't fun. I used to get a bit of abuse on Ask FM, but I didn't really take much notice of that.
But really and truly, every social media website has got any like signs of bullying anyway.
I used to get the odd troll and I'd be just like, do one and stuff. But apart from that, not a lot really.
But stuff like social media, you just got to sort out yourself because you put yourself on that website. You made that account, so you've got to sort out yourself before you get that.
Yeah, I'd say I use social media probably every day without probably intentionally. So yeah, definitely use it all the time. It's my job.
Fairly active. I use Twitter and Tumblr, and obviously I've got Facebook. I know a couple of photography ones as well, Instagram and IM. But I've got these accounts and I don't really post on them very much. So I tend to post photography, and I tend to post it either on Instagram or on IM, and then I've got it set up so that automatically goes to my Tumblr and my Twitter, and then from Twitter it automatically goes to Facebook.
Facebook I kind of use for personal reasons, especially given like quite a lot of my family, or my mum certainly lives abroad, so it's a good way of communicating to her what's going on in my life. What else do I use? WhatsApp to talk to my siblings, and Viber, things like that. So yeah, it's a lot of it to do with personal reasons, but some to do with actual work purposes as well.
It's only ever in the evening.
In the evening. Okay.
Yeah.
It depends on which apps, because with YouTube and things like that, I might spend some time during the day.
Sometimes weekends, I guess, as well, but never at any other point. I mean, I say that, but I do read them at other times, so I'm not that active in actually posting, but I use Twitter and Facebook quite a lot in order to read about music and news and art and things like that, and I sometimes use that at lunchtime.
Yeah, more sort of in the evening in my own spare time that I tend to use these apps.
As head of media, do you think there's kind of a rapid progression in the social media market?
Market in terms of making money from it, or just users?
Maybe more users, kind of.
Well, I think there's been a steady rise.
I think as generations to come, we'll see that a majority will be using social media if they're not already. You know, like I say that because people like my nan obviously don't use any form of social media, but that kind of generation almost are kind of like the last of it. It's just becoming into her 80s. But some 80-year-olds do use social media. It's crazy.
Just the fact what I was saying earlier, by essentially most of the time that I post on any of them is on my phone, and that wouldn't have even been possible, you know, say 3-4 years ago. So in that sense, I guess it is, and I suppose that one of the really interesting things about a lot of social media, like whatever it is, whether it's Twitter or Flickr or Facebook or whatever, is it's actually becoming the news.
Yeah, more sort of in the evening in my own spare time, I go to these apps.
Do you think social media has kind of helped educationally in schools or in teaching media?
Yeah, I think it does. I genuinely think it does. I think it's a really good place to you know, obviously, you know, a key thing that we do as well as actually posting on there is follow people.
Yeah, definitely, because so much of what we see nowadays is through social media. Now you've got, so I'll refer back to the kind of not Ryan Gallagher, no, what's his name? Ryan Giggs. Yeah, so I'll refer back to the Ryan Giggs story where, you know, he had this massive affair, but in the news they could only report that it was some famous footballer. They couldn't go into details, but everybody knew it was Ryan Giggs because Twitter had released it. I'm not saying that that's a good thing, because obviously people have got a sense of privacy, and that's kind of one of the negative things of social media come into it. You know, that anyone's got the right to freedom of speech, but actually how much freedom should we be giving certain people in society? But in that case, it was kind of like where news stories were kind of being propaganded by the people, by the public persona. And I think in some ways that's good, and in some ways that's negative. But in terms of my teaching and using social media, it can be really great. You can learn lots through of views through Twitter and things like that. So often when students are asked to do questionnaires and things, I say post them onto Facebook, post them onto Twitter. Yeah, you might get some respondents who don't take it seriously, but a lot of people will be willing to give their opinion and in a proper sort of forum, I guess.
As head of media, do you think there's kind of a rapid progression in the social media market?
Market in terms of making money from it, or just users?
Maybe more users, kind of. Yeah.
Well, I think there's been a steady rise.
But it's becoming more common practice, definitely, because you can do there's so many benefits to it. Obviously, there's some negatives too, but social media is quite a wonderful thing, and it's a kind of it can be, you know, a really good evolution for technology.
Yeah.
And it's becoming quite a legal issue. So, you know, there's quite a few new laws that are having to come in place because of interactive technology, often social media.
Social media in a negative way, how do you think that's like impacting society, like with the young kind of children or young kids using social media more often, and cyberbullying? How do you think that's impacting society?
Oh, it's massive, isn't it? It's such a massive issue. I mean, you know, when I was at school, you'd get face-to-face bullying. Now it's all, you know, not all of it's online, but quite a lot of it is online, you know, through these kind of WhatsApp forums or BB Messenger.
So there's lots of stuff like Twitter now, you can be sent to jail for, you know, there's a lot of hate stuff, which is quite unfortunate. It seems to be what people like to do, because they can be anonymous, that comes from places like Twitter and things like that. So
it's a massive issue, and it really needs to be sorted out, but it's a difficult one, because if you restrict it to age, they will young kids will always find a way. You know, you've got, you know, someone in my family who's like in primary school has their own Facebook account. I mean, it just shouldn't be allowed, really. I've refused to add this person as well, because I just don't think it's appropriate for them to be seeing what I post in my own private bubble of my life.